Hello and welcome to the release preview for Q3, the second release. Currently we have it scheduled for the weekend of the 27th of August, subject to successful user acceptance tests as always. So let's have a look at what features we've introduced in this release. It looks like quite a meager list actually, but there's a fair amount of functionality behind both of these features. So we've introduced an activity dashboard. So we can keep track of activity within an assessment, particularly if we have automatic reports being sent, etc. And we've also got some fairly detailed analytics now available. We're using the Microsoft Power BI product, but we've embedded that within the console to give you quite a bit of control over the information that's available. But also you can download, so we'll have a look at that without further ado. So if we look at the console, when we log in and select an assessment, the first thing that's presented is a dashboard which gives us a track of recent activity. You can see here that we've broken it down into 3 different types of activity. So activity around self-assessments, validations and job or role definitions, and you can see we're being informed whether or not we've assigned, whether surveys have been completed and reports generated, etc. Interactive chart down the bottom here, so we can sort of drill down to individual dates if there was a lot of information. And clicking on the activity tab gives us effectively an audit trail of actually what's happened. So if you need to just see some of the detail behind some of these numbers, then that activity tab is where to go. As with most dashboards, we've got different periods we can look at. So we can look at the previous month, same type of capability here with the interaction. And all will give us all the activity from the start of this particular assessment. So each time you log in, that will be the first page that will be presented. The other area that we've added is analytics. So this is now providing a view of your assessment data, and as we'll see very shortly, it will give us various options for slicing and dicing, if you will, that particular data. We've started with 3 different pages. You can see down at the bottom we have individual skill breakdown, individual level of responsibility, and what we've referred to as a skills matrix that just gives you the ability to very quickly identify personnel that have particular skills. This is Power BI. It loaded up quite quickly. There's not too much data behind this. It's a test, but it can take a little while. There's a fair amount of data that it loads in. This is a tree map. The size of the boxes and indeed the colours of the boxes indicate the category, and as you can see, as I move across, it's telling me how many people within each of these skills selected that skill. Clicking on any of these boxes immediately filters, so now I'm just looking at people with that particular skill. So over on the right hand side, and if I scroll across, I get a lot more detail relating to that particular skill and people that selected it. Just click back off that. Down at the bottom here, we can see we've got various filters available. So if I was only interested in validated responses, I click validated, and now I get a different view which is just showing me validated data. The capability filter relates to whether people selected mostly partially. I just switch this off. You'll also see that we have people that selected previous as well. If the information isn't presented in a form that is what you're looking for, then we have the option to export any of the data that you're viewing into a spreadsheet, so you can manipulate it offline with a local copy. In some cases we're given a drill down capability, so this double arrow gives me a drill down. I'm looking at categories and skills within. Currently, if I drill down, I've now gone down to subcategories, I go down another level, it's actually giving me levels included as well. Just come back up to the top there. Very similar for the levels of responsibility. So we've got a tree map. This is now showing us the different categories of responsibility and the different levels. And as we saw before, if I just highlight one, it just filters the data to that particular responsibility and level. Skills matrix, just a very quick way of finding individuals with particular skills. So if I was looking, for example, for just validated skills, first of all I just highlight validated result type. You can see here the skills that's been selected. If I need to know who it is that's got technical specialization, click on that and it shows me that we've got Amy Smith and Peter Chester and the various levels that they're selected and the level of capability they selected. So certainly for identifying personnel within your organization with particular skill sets, this should very quickly highlight it. And of course, as we saw before, you can export the data that is viewed straight into a spreadsheet. Okay, so I said didn't look like too long a list of features, but certainly the functionality that we provided, particularly within the analytics, we hope will be of use. If, of course, the information that you want, you'd prefer presented in a different way, by all means contact me, Paul Collins at SkillsTx.com, but be aware that we will certainly be releasing new pages over time as we get user feedback, providing different views of the data and constantly updating that analytics page. Okay, thank you very much for your time again and look forward to providing the next release preview in a few weeks' time.